Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for FND Racing Friday Night at Daytona International Speedway. I am Atliat Manwees, and joining me tonight is experienced iRacer, Joe Wright. Hey, Joe, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right, Atlee. It's my first time being here in the booth on a Friday night when I normally am out on track. Travel and work got me cornered into broadcasting tonight, so should be exciting though.
Yep, we're glad you're joining us, and what a great race. Tonight's race features the Gander Outdoor Trucks. They're always exciting, and the exciting drivers from FND Racing. We've got a few new guys, a lot of the regulars that should be exciting. FND Racing is one of the oldest online racing simulation groups of any racing game / simulation. Their roots go back to Sierra Papyrus's NASCAR 4, which debuted 10 days before Dale Earnhardt's death back in 2001. So now you can tell why it is one of the oldest online racing simulation groups. The core of the group can be traced back to the Gollum 38, which were 104 lap races that Monty Noyce hosted. They then migrated to games like NASCAR 2002, NASCAR 2003, before jumping to where we're broadcasting now at iRacing. They're not a league, although they have done the league thing before, so there's no points on the line, no money on the line. They're just a group of guys who share the same passion for a heart-pumping, white-knuckle super speedway racing, and they do have an F&D team within the group, though they will work with those who race with them.
Yeah, over the years, man, there's been a bunch of teams that have come through and joined up together, namely like Mediocre Motorsports, the J Team, FND. I started at FND. I was invited by Chris Moss and Monty Noyes in one of these open races like you're seeing tonight. And they took me in like a little cousin and taught me the ropes about super speedway racing. It was my first time ever doing it, and that was when iRacing first started up. Oh, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago now, something like that.
Wow, I didn't realize iRacing was that old. Wow.
Yep, I lived in Michigan when I started racing. That's why if you see my thing, it's because of Michigan. So Lily was just born.
Nice. And the rooms are open, as you can see. A lot of guys join these races, though. We do only have there's some B guys and some A class guys. So if maybe that could be a goal for you to work up to get up to B or A class, and you can join some of these races. Most of the time it's only A class.
Yeah, I don't know that there's B class in here.
Yeah, there's Aaron Zanghai, Lance Jason, Jared A. Parks, and Lee Meller. All are B class.
Oh, maybe Rob's getting a little more antsy to get more people in here.
Well, that's good.
We've had some short numbers lately, so.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, especially on super speedway tracks, it's fun. Being able to go 3 wide at 180, 200 miles an hour is heart pumping, and it's a lot of fun. It doesn't look as fun in the sim as it is, but it is.
Yeah, you have a lot of experience in these cars, so you can definitely bring the inside knowledge to this. I also have that use. So the broadcast.
Right now you're looking at like Danny Rindall and Josh Hall. Those guys are teammates. They're FND drivers going into 3 here together. Those two side by side. And you've seen those guys work together numerous times, I'm sure, throughout the races that you've broadcast.
Yeah, really got to work together here in the super speedway races.
Yeah, you do, but you don't, right? Sometimes people just help you. Little give, little take. Like you're seeing a lot of give and take in here with 3 wide going into the turn.
Yeah, but when the final lap comes, it's kind of every man for themselves.
It is, unless the guy behind you knows he doesn't have a shot. Then he's going to go with you wherever you go. So.
Normally we see people start trying to make moves. Oh,
ooh.
Like Josh Hall and Charles M. Johnson. Maybe that's a sign that we might see some cautions tonight. You never know.
Josh was being super aggressive with the bump trap down the backstretch, pushing Danny, I think. And he just seeing what he can do. That's what practice is for. You get out there and and put a bumper to them and see what they got. So
Tonight's broadcast is sponsored by the sponsors of Atlee Weiss Racing. They include Premier Heating and Air Services, Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina, Gately State Farm, Go-To Property Services, Smith Wraps and Graphics, Damon's Lawn Service and Landscaping, Motivated Auto Sales, Bobby's Auto Service Center, and Amsoil East Coast Synthetics. So thank you to all of those small businesses for sponsoring us. If you're a lot of them have Facebook pages, so you can look them up there. Go support them. Great small businesses, each doing a lot of different stuff that could help you, from HVAC work to contracting. All very good.
To fill in your belly.
And fill in your belly, that's right.
I love
Juan's is very good.
I miss Juan's. I'm gonna miss that while I'm down here. It's a Mexican restaurant. Awesome people, awesome food, good times.
We actually
check them out.
We actually do have an Atlee Weiss sponsor of the race, and I will get their logo on screen right now. They are... Can't find the logo, but still, sponsor of the race is Amsoil East Coast Synthetics, so I will go a little bit in depth about them. East Coast Synthetics is an authorized Amsoil dealer that provides custom lubrication solutions to all types of customers, from families to trucking fleets. They have the products and expertise to help you save time and money. They are based in Newport News, Virginia, but they serve customers across North America and Canada, and they're always happy to help in any way they can. Call them at 757-298-4754. Again, 757-298-4754. If you want more information on Amsoil products, for help determining which products you need, or to place an order, and you can also order Amsoil products online at www.eastcoastsynthetics.com. I drive go-karts and I use Amsoil, and I do really well. So Amsoil is great quality synthetics. So thank you to the sponsor of the race, Amsoil East Coast Synthetics.
So we're checking out qualifying right now, and man, usually who do you see at the top of the board when you're watching Friday night races?
We see a lot of sometimes Gabe Butler is fast.
Dave Swindell, Conrad.
Eric Laurie.
Those guys are usually pretty fast. Yeah, they all work together. A lot of them share sets, and this is an open set format, so those guys usually have the faster qualification setups. It's not necessarily, at super speedways, it's not necessarily your line as much as it is the set. And then once you get down to the set, it relies on you ran the line. And you'll see these guys are going to run all the way out to the wall as soon as they can coming off pit road, and they're going to stay up against that wall until they hit that front stretch. Then they're going to diamond off into the dog leg and get a good run down the short chute into turn one. So he's riding it high. He's getting it wound up, trying to get those heat in the tires and the speed up. And you should see him, as he comes down to the trial, will take a swoop down the hill. Oh.
Switch drivers. Well, thank you for taking us through a kind of lap. Now that I watch it, it does look fun. First time on
That's a great time.
First time on the board is Dave Swindell with a 51.299. And while we were speaking about the regulars that sometimes do well in qualifying, whenever we see new guys come, like a lot of them, I haven't seen, like Rick Sybrands, Mark McFadden, all those guys, those newer guys that we've never seen in FND. Sometimes they can come in and set scorching times.
Yeah, and with that, you're proving if you're coming in here into this server and you're laying down a pole position lap or even in the top 5, you're proving to all these guys in here that you know how to super speedway race, or at least you got a setup from somebody who does.
Looks like another regular tops the board. Eric Laurie with a 51.275.
Blazing.
Very close though. He was still only 200ths ahead of Dave Swindell. Still got Jimmy.
That was Gabe Butler on track that you had there just now.
Yep, we got another guy, Mark McFadden. Here's Jimmy Crow.
Across the line. And you notice one thing that those guys are all doing when they come to the stripe there at man, they're hitting the apron and they're staying locked in on that apron all the way to the finish line. That's a little inside secret that if you're a new super speedway driver, you wouldn't know anything about.
Very good. Here's DJ Harris. Looks like most of the guys, the only other guy on track still is, here's Gabe Butler.
Gabe Butler. See, he's a little high off that line right now, which is interesting. You want to be tight down to it, close enough where you're not going to lose control of the car, and then he should get down on the apron coming through the tri-oval, so you should see him. He didn't swing very far up on the back stretch either, which is different.
He's not staying close to the wall like you were saying.
Well, no, this is his out. This is his go lap, so he doesn't want to get out to the wall on this lap. He wants to hug that bottom line.
See.
He should hit the apron here, though, for the best time. Yep. And that's a tricky thing to do, doing 180 miles an hour, staying on the apron like that on a flat corner.
He was so close, second on the board.
He was just a little high. I'm telling you, just a little bit too high going through 1 and 2. I think that was the difference.
Still 200th off of Eric Laurie. I mean, if Eric Laurie can get help, he might be the favorite. I don't know. He was 200th ahead. But that doesn't matter because they're going to be drafting with each other, switching around. Waiting to see if we're going to have a driver's meeting. But while we wait, I'm going to show the grid up here. So starting in the first position with a scorching time of 51.275 and the number 071, it's Eric Laurie. Starting in the second position, it is the 88 of Gabe Butler. In third, it's the 1 of Dave Swindell. Fourth is the 16 of Jimmy Crow. Fifth is the 4 of Rick Sybrands. And sixth, it's the 19 of Brandon Coppinger. In seventh, the 14 of Charles M. Johnson. Starting in the 8th position, it is the 388 of Douglas R. Johnson. In 9th, it's the 83 of Rob Malone. 10th is the 76 of DJ Harris. 11th is the 81 of Josh Hall. 12th is the 13 of Brandon Jason. In 13th, it's the 17 of Lee Meller. In 14th, it's the 18 of Jared A. Parks. 15th is the 221 of Mitchell Jones. 16th is the 22 of Jake Giergitsis. And in 17th, the 77 of Lance Jason. And there could be more drivers. I think I didn't mention Robert David Ballantyne. He didn't qualify, but he's looks like he's starting. Also, Mark McFadden. He didn't set a qualifying time, but he's also starting. So sometimes these guys don't even qualify. It's not mandatory.
Yeah, it's a strategy, athlete. These guys know what super speedway racing brings. It's going to bring cautions. It's going to bring a wreck fest sometimes. So a lot of these guys, if they see people they don't know or aren't used to, they'll start at the back, and that's their intention by not qualifying, is just starting from the back. So
I mean, if everybody wrecks in front of them, there's like the big one and they avoid it, that back starting position might have been the benefit.
yeah, absolutely. And it's tough to assess that on the fly, right? It's tough to know when it's going to happen and be able to avoid it. We call we call the new guys when they run in the back of you during a severe accident, we call those ARCA brakes, because people just drive straight in the back of you. So you can watch for that in most of these crashes. You'll see people checking up and other people like daydreaming.
Yeah, you got to pay a lot of attention.
A really good field tonight for Friday night Daytona race. It's going to be a good one. I expect to see Gabe and Eric stay up front with Dave Swindell right there most of the race. You're going to see Rob and Josh and Danny Rindall maybe fall off the back for a bit. Dave Harris might get up in the mix for a little bit and then fall to the back. And then based on cautions, we might see some green flag runs and hopefully a really good finish at the end. We'll see what happens though. As they come out of turn 4 here, they'll be taking the green.
Sure. Here comes Pace Truck.
So Monty would always say coming out of 4, second gear. That was his thing. Every single race, every single time you came out of 4 going to the green flag, he would say coming out of 4, second gear. So all those guys hear that in their
Pace
head.
Truck's in. Green flag is out, kicking off your 4th of July weekend. Here we go. Green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. Bottom line gets the jump. Eric Laurie, leader on the bottom. Gabe Butler, leader on the top. Two very successful, great drivers. But it's all going to be up to the drafting now.
Absolutely. Man, you're going to see Dave Swindell really push Laurie out front here. His intention is to get clear of Gabe on that outside line. He wants to get up in front of Gabe. And you know, these trucks do overheat. They still start getting warm after a while of pushing too. And so Dave's intention is to get away from having to push constantly. But it looks like they're going to stay 2x2, 3 back for a while.
You still might see some aggression as the first lap has been completed so far. Caution free. 75
down,
laps.
Many more to go.
Just to explain how drafting works, drafting occurs when a car lines up right behind the car in front of it, just inches between the bumpers. Leading cars block the flow of air, creating an area of low pressure behind them, and this area acts like a vacuum, sucking the trailing cars forward, and the trailing cars push high pressure air over the leading car's spoilers, reducing their drag and also giving them a boost. And the more cars that are grouped in a drafting formation, the faster they all will go. Drafting
because it punches a bigger hole, right, man? So the bigger the hole, the more cars can fit in it. And when they say punching a hole in the air, what they're doing is they're moving the air out of the way. Creating a vacuum. It's less resistance on the front end of the car because it's going over the top versus over the front. So that's what's happening. Then those RPMs get wound up in the draft, and when you say somebody slingshots by someone, their RPM is just through the roof, and when they dip out away from the back of it, that momentum that they have from the higher RPMs carries them by them, and then eventually the RPMs drop back to where what normal would be with air on the front of the car.
Like Gabe Butler, while we were talking about that, he ended up clearing Eric Laurie for the lead. That now puts the 16 of Jimmy Crow as the leader of the high side. Looks like Dave Swindell was thinking about pulling up to the high line to clear him, but he stays down behind Eric Laurie.
I think Dave Swindell's thinking pit strategy already. He's starting to think, okay, well, we stayed green this long. I'm going to sit right here. I'm not going to get all crazy. I'm going to, get ready to pit. But the guys behind him aren't thinking that, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, someone did move up to block Jimmy Crow and take the lead on the high side. That looked to be, Rick Sybrands. He moved up to the high side. I think maybe Eric Laurie, he thought about it.
I think Eric Laurie might have been peeking out there to try to jump up in front of... Oh.
What a save.
Did he end up saving it?
Oh, no.
There's the big one. Oh, yeah. Got 5 cars in that one.
Caution isn't out.
You sure?
Yeah, there's no caution.
Still no caution. Wow. I would imagine Rob's going to throw one for that. I don't know, though.
Oh, yep, now the caution's out. Let me go
it is.
over to the 388. We'll get a replay.
He almost saved that thing. I thought he had it.
It was a lapse over time. The wreck happened in pieces. All right, so we're going to do slow motion. The 388 cars, that I believe it's that black and red car.
And this is a really cool view at, man. You can see how much everybody's moving around at all time. Even in slow motion, everybody's all over the place. They're looking for opportunity. They're looking for a move. And it looks like the car behind him is going to get him in the back a little bit here on the entry.
He's up there with the 19 of Brandon Coppinger. Looks like Coppinger pulled down on the apron, and so does 388. And yep, you're right, 17 of Lee Miller pulls into the back of him, and he stays on the apron. But looks like for the most part he had saved it, and then he got into the apron one more time. Wheel still spinning. Then the 18 car. What? Oh, Jared A. Parks and the 10.
Well, they were going 4 wide at Daytona, which is bad juju. coming out of the corner. That's bad juju. 4 wide is bad. It's been done, but it's tough.
Yeah, we normally see it more at Talladega Super Speedway due to the fact that it's over, I believe it's over 6 inches wider.
It's only 6 inches or 6 feet wider?
No, excuse me, 6 feet, my bad.
I was going to say, that's a big difference.
The Talladega gives the cars a little bit more room to stretch their legs.
Yeah, you can do 5 wide at Talladega without a problem, without even thinking about it. Looks like you'll see everybody pit here. Everybody's going to fuel up. Everybody's going to take tires. Everybody's going to get everything fixed.
Like we have some drivers staying out, though.
Yeah, it's an interesting call. Most likely people that don't race with these guys normally.
Yeah. I don't see any regulars out there.
Yeah.
All right, here's the race off of pit road. It's like Gabe Butler makes his way. Then the 4071, Jimmy Crow, Dave Swindell.
Nice race off pit road. The 4, I think, got ahead of Laurie. He might have only taken 2 tires there.
I'll pull the results up after everybody gets out. Oh, looks like there is a regular. Brandon Jason looks like he stayed out.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And also Lance Jason stayed out.
The Jason brothers stayed out, huh?
Here's the pit stops result. Looks like the 88 of Gabe Butler ended up winning it. Looks like... Yeah, looks like Gabe Butler, he ended up winning it. Like Cybrands beat Laurie by 0.2 of a second. Or excuse me, 1/10 of a second. It's a very close battle for the second position.
Yeah, it had to be just he took 2 tires. There's no other explanation for that. Unless Laurie slid through his pit just a little bit.
So I do have the current list of who stayed out. Robert David Ballantyne, Mitchell Jones, Lance Jason, Zach Gear Gitsis, and Brandon Jason. All of them stayed out, which is an interesting strategy.
Bob Ballantyne, you'll see work with Dave Swindell pretty often. Those guys are pretty tight together, so you'll see them. If they're around each other, they'll be working together. That's one of the non-proclaimed group or duos that we see out here every week. I'm wondering where Gary Jenkins and Maurice Johnson are. We don't see them tonight, right?
They're like Jenkins and Johnson Motorsports. They race in the 322 and 321, and they're also pretty tight together. And they are duos here at the Super Speedway Drafting Partners. I believe we've seen them finish 1-2 before.
We have. Yep. They're a good group of guys. Awesome people. Everybody that races in FND are by nature really good people. They're welcoming, and it's an enjoyable thing to do is race with these guys.
Definitely, and very organized. The rules are very good, and it keeps the racing good as well. For the front two, we got Brandon Jason on the bottom. He's got the other Jason, Lance, behind him, so we're going to definitely see them two drafting with each other, helping each other out. Trying to get by the Hooters, number 22, Zach Gear gets this.
And the lights are out on the pace truck, so we're going to see us going green here as we come out of 4. And as Monty would say, second gear, boys, let's go.
All the FND guys are probably doing that. I'm not sure about the newer guys. I wish I could see what gear they're running in, but
They always run in second beginning.
green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. Looks like the 2 Jason drivers make their way out front, and we're
Oh, we're
wrecking. That looked like to be Eric Corey. Let me rewind. I saw that right in the corner of my eye, right on the restart too. Oh,
They went
wait.
3 wide.
Let me actually, I think
it happens in front of them, man.
700.
Like right in front of Gabe.
Oh, there.
Yeah,
the
221.
221 right here.
He might have missed a shift here. Yep, he missed a shift.
All right, so we're going to get this full restart right when the pace truck pulls down. He's going to be behind Zach.
And that's why we say second gear.
I don't think, maybe he wasn't in second gear.
He was. He gets going. I think he just missed the shift into third. So he's going now.
He moves down,
he missed
and
a shift
then
into third.
It went 3 wide, which did not go well. 67 of Mark McFadden got into him. Looks like there's another.
Lori checked up. Swindell got in back of him, and then into the 16, and then back across the track.
Ooh.
Yeah,
The
it's just a chain reaction.
Yep, domino effect. That's how it is at super speedways. And it all just went downhill from there. Will we see the Jasons go into pit road? Because remember, they stayed out.
No, I think they're playing it smart. Their goal in life right now is to stay out of that stuff.
True. Because mostly all the drivers, except for the 221 that were involved in that wreck, pitted. We still have that top 4 that we had at the restart. Still Brandon Jason, Lance Jason, Zach, Gier, Jitsis, and Robert David Ballantyne still round out the top 4. Let's talk about the track. When Daytona International Speedway opened in 1959, it marked the beginning of a new era in American motorsports. It was as a replacement for the old beach road course a few miles east. The high bank 2.5-mile Florida tri-oval represented the leading edge of a wave of construction of big paved speed palaces. Before Daytona, Indianapolis was the only American oval track longer than 1.25 miles, and most racing took place on dirt ovals a mile or less in length. From the very first Daytona 500, won by Lee Petty in a 3-way photo finish that took days to determine the winner, those 31-degree high bank turns so steep that it is hard to walk up them, and the 18-degree tri-oval proved a favorable venue for wide-open stock car racing, and Daytona kicked off the growth of NASCAR as we know it today. Daytona was also the first multi-use facility with a 3.56-mile road circuit incorporating the infield, most of the oval, and it hosts not only the Daytona 500, but for you IMSA fans, there's the Rolex 24 Sports Endurance Race, also Bike Week's Daytona 500 and those like MotoGP kind of bikes, and also Daytona Kart Week between Christmas and New Year's, and a host of driving school club, Richard Petty driving experience, and other events along those lines. Daytona's busy and diverse schedule confirms the track motto as the world center of racing. I've been to Daytona, and it really does take you by shock when you actually see the bank turns in real life.
Oh man, I went there for the 50th, and I stood on the turn 1 and just looked up, and like, wow, man, it's pretty nuts how crazy banked it is and how the cars stay on it. Did you see? It was Talladega. Did you see the Air Titan sliding sideways in the rain?
Oh yeah. Those Air Titans, sadly, a lot of the races that I go to, I see a lot of laps from them. It's normally when my mom goes to the races. But I went to a Bristol race in 2016, and the NASCAR cars completed 60 laps, and the Air Titans probably completed over 100. They do help dry the track, though, very well. Getting ready for the restart. Front row, 2 Jasons on the front row. Brandon and Lance Jason rounding out the front row. Behind Brandon, we got Zach Giorgitsis, and behind Lance is Robert David Ballantyne. Excited for this restart. Last restart was a little bit messy. Hopefully we can see things go a little bit cleaner. Pace truck pulls in. And green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. Jason, they're side by side. And both of them take off ahead of their drafting partners. And already we'll see drivers moving up and down from line to line. Right now, Brandon Jason has cleared Lance Jason on the high side. But all that can change. Here at these super speedways, nobody's guaranteed a winner. Oh no! Dave Swindell.
Through the infield.
He didn't make any other contact with anybody. I'm not sure if the
there was contact there. There's no way he spun that fast without contact. Yeah, man.
No, I don't think there's going to be a caution because he wasn't around anyone. So we're going to continue racing. I'll get him up to see what happens. Let's do a cockpit cam.
Man.
There we go. So this is what it looks like for Dave in his iRacing. Here we go. Looks like he's got Meller in front of him and also Dave Harris in front of him. He's pulling up on the outside of Meller. And here's when the wrecking happens on the super speedway.
Dave's holding a really good line there. He's not pinching too hard. And then something crazy is going to happen right about here. Looks like green maybe lost its speed or something. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, the 221 was one of the main cause of the previous wreck on the restart. Let me go to 2. There he is. Looks like Dave Swindell made contact with the 221. That sends him flying through the grass. Good thing there are restrictor plates, or else that wreck would have been... Like, imagine if that wreck would have happened with the 87 cars. That would have not been good. Back out to regular green flag racing. Looks like Lance Jason is the leader on the bottom. Here comes the 13 of Brandon Jason from the high side to the bottom. He's now your new leader, and Robert David Ballantyne is the new leader. Man, the top line is successful. Now Robert David Ballantyne is the new leader of the bottom line, and that puts Rick Sybrands as the new leader of the top line. And he's going to try to get up by Robert David Ballantyne. And the top line just had a lot of momentum. 2 cars made their way to the bottom. Brandon Jason and Robert David Ballantyne. Looks like 19 car pulls up to get some fresh air. It looks like Robert David, oh yep. Sybrands has the 388 of Douglas R. Johnson behind him. Got the rest of the guys staying back there. Looks like Dave Swindell remains on the lead lap. After that spin in the grass. I don't think he made it. Joe, did you see him make any contact with like the inner barrier? continuing. Got Brandon Jason on the bottom. Like Robert David Ballantyne ended up making his way back up to the high side. I think Robert David Ballantyne, he still has a lot of momentum. He's side by side with Brandon Jason. Jasons, they extended their gap. Both of them they were almost clear with the 70 of Robert David Ballantyne, though Dave Ballantyne got up side by side with the 77. The two of them, they can really work together very well. Might be the setup. And they're really moving around a lot with the whole drafting. Trucks are very hard to drive. Ooh, 4 cars, 3 wide. The 4 and the 88, they were 3 wide. Good thing a wreck did not happen. They all got very close to each other. They're still almost 3 wide. The 14 is under the 4 car. Wow, that was a crazy chain of events there. Still even with, here comes the 14 car. Charles M. Johnson making his way to the outside of Brandon Jason. He benefited from those previous actions. They ended up making their way past lap traffic very well. No accidents. Oh no! Right as I say that, we got big wreck. Caution is out. Let me see what happened.
You're not allowed to call those cautions at, man. Come on. Jinxing these guys.
Jinx it. They still did have, they cleared Art Peck.
Looks like Gabe's trying to get a little pull from Art here. I don't know if that gives him a run or what.
Let me go to his view. Looks like Art wasn't the cause of trouble. Oh, 14 car.
Oh, yeah. The 27 came up, I think. Can we go like from a blimp view and take a look at how they were moving around there?
Do one more instant replay. Here they are again, coming by Art Peck. Yeah, Art Peck was the 13 car moved up, and Jason also moved up with him. And the 14 car got the worst end of the stick. The 22 moved down to avoid the wreck, and he ended up collecting the 19. Did Art Peck end up making it through? Nope.
That's what we call ARCA brakes. You see that happening in front of you, got to get slowed down quick.
Looks like Brandon Jason, Gabe Butler, and Robert David Ballantyne. Oh, looks like drivers on pit lane as we're doing our pit stops under caution. And Gabe Butler wins the race off the pit road. Second goes to Eric Laurie. Third goes to Brandon Jason. Then Robert David Ballantyne. Dave Harris got the 17-1, 14-4. Daniel Rendall. '83 of Ron Malone. 388 of Douglas R. Johnson makes his way. Josh Hall. We got two others on pit road. Those were just the major. So Gabe Butler with the second pit stall has been beating out Eric Laurie, who has the first stall. So this was the first time that Brandon Jason, Robert David Ballantyne, Zach Jitsis, Mitchell Jones, all those guys, this was the first time that they have ever taken pit stops, because they stayed out the first time that they did when they pit.
That's an interesting fact. So they stayed out front and then they just caused the wreck.
Mm-hmm. Like Eric Laurie got his lap back.
Yeah, he did. It looks like Art Peck has manually disconnected. His race is over with.
Yeah, he was involved in the previous caution. Gabe Butler starting on the bottom. He's been, again, one of the most, he's won a majority of these races in FND in the time that I've broadcasted them. He's won a lot of them.
Yeah, Gabe's a really good driver, man, and props to him. He puts in the work. He comes out every week and they work on sets all week, and they do some good stuff with those guys.
Yeah, I think they're called Low Line Racing. I think Eric Laurie aligns with him.
Yep, they have a bunch of guys with them, and they're really good. They're fun to race with. They're clean guys. They don't make any crazy moves or do anything crazy. They probably think I'm aggressive as all get out. But I like the way that those guys race. It's fun to race with them.
Yeah, the cool thing about you being here to announce with us is because you've raced with all of these drivers. You know how they race. You know some of their tactics.
Yeah, Gabe likes to be up front. He likes to be right where he is right now. He likes to stay right there on that low line. That's the name, Low Line Racing. They like to sit up there and not worry about anything, which I understand.
He's got Dave Harris starting on the outside, who, like, green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. Gabe Butler, great jump for him. A good pushing coming from Brandon Jason.
Comes Lee Miller. He's going to get up behind DJ and give him a good put. Oh, big switch there.
Yeah. I kind of saw that coming from
Brandon Jason was pretty aggressive with that move. Yeah, DJ's going to tuck him behind Gabe here. He knows who the faster truck is. And looks like they're going to hang Jason out in the middle.
Ooh.
Maybe put him down to sucker hole.
Will anybody pull down? I think if everybody else clears them. Oh, no! The 17, that is a shame. Oh, no. Bro, let me... Instant replay of that one. 17 of Miller highlight. I knew that was going to cause trouble when Brandon Jason got hung out. Was that some net code there, maybe?
Rewind it again, man. I think Brandon Jason got hung out, and the 17 wasn't clear and came down just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, he's holding his line. Yeah, he's holding his line. So I don't think there's an issue with what Jason did there. DJ Harris is doing well. Brandon Jason's doing well.
The 17 of Lee Meller was trying to get by him. And then followed behind him was Charles M. Johnson. DJ Harris, he's under him, 3 wide. A little bit of a scary situation, especially Brandon Jason, who was in the middle of it all. And the 17 and 13 make contact. 14 got involved in it. Oh no, everybody. 1 car, 19 car. The other Jason got involved. 22, 4. Man. But a lot of those back guys, like, 221.
Yeah, Jason or Josh Hall got it woed down. He didn't miss all of it at the back there.
Yeah, a lot of
looks like Swindell's got some pretty heavy damage. Just looking at pit road.
Rendall ended up making it. Oh, but Rob, he got into the 17, and there's Eric Laurie being very patient.
Looks like Rob is reset, and he's on. Oh, not. He doesn't have any damage. Rob doesn't.
Wow, so a lot of those back runners benefited from that.
Yeah, you see, if you look back, you can see Josh get it woed down really well. I was watching the back of the pack there during that just to see what happened. So DJ Harris benefited from that.
Definitely.
Didn't take a pit stop. Looks like he might have some left front damage, maybe.
I didn't see him, mate. I looked. They didn't get anywhere close to him.
Yeah.
Also, Valentine ended up making it through it as well. Those front runners. Anybody in front of Brandon Jason.
I'm seeing damage on the 22 of Zach Gordis right front.
Oh. Wait, so the right front you said?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm looking at the right front right now. Oh, no, that's not him.
That's DJ.
Here it is. Oh, I see it. You're right. Yep.
That could be an issue here coming back to this restart.
Might make
watch for him not to have. He's not going to have speed. He's going to be. Aerodynamics at this place with these is key, especially on a restart here.
And he's got some front damage up there too.
So Josh missed all the bad stuff, and you should see him. He's going to be right behind DJ on this restart, so that low line's going to go, and Butler's going to have to swing in behind them.
And yeah, they're in the FND team. They have that working for them. They can work together. The lights on the pace truck have gone off again. We got Harris and Hall on the bottom, and then Zach Georgis, he's up there, and like he's got back end damage, hood damage, right front damage, but he's got a good drafting partner, Gabe Butler, behind him. So maybe we can see Gabe give him a good push, get him.
I'm gonna see Gabe either hit the outside or slide down right in behind Josh. He's not going to try to push him because he sees the damage from his endpoint. Definitely got ourselves a little wreck fest going on.
Mm-hmm. Already, how many is it?
I think that's 4.
4, yeah. But still, 16 cars. Pace truck. About to pull in. This is an important big restart. Here we go. Pace truck pulls in right here. Green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. Harris with the good jump. Gabe Butler, he had that wide open gap, but he didn't go down there. So
and you can see that aerodynamic roll that's coming on the outside. There's no way he's going to clear these guys once they get up to speed. Yeah, see how much drag is happening to that 22 right now?
Mm-hmm. The 88's sucking up right to him. It's going to be a problem. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Harris pulls back in. Oh no!
Oh!
He got clipped by the 81.
We watched that in practice. The same exact thing happened.
Ooh, hits the fence right there. That's not good at all.
And I'm not going to try to bring up sore subjects, man, but I remember a specific race where Josh was winning and got turned by DJ Harris.
Ooh.
Not saying it was on purpose, but
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We benefited from that. The car that we were worried about, Gabe Butler, leader of the bottom line. He really did benefit from that. It now looks like the 19 of Coppinger is the leader of the high line. He's making his way up there. Not a lot.
I like Coppinger. He's aggressive. He kind of drives with my style a bit, so he's exciting to watch. I think he might have even, I don't know if it was him or another Coppinger, he might have even been a part of the iRacing Premier Series. What's it called?
The NASCAR Coca-Cola Series?
Yes.
Oh,
I think
really?
he may have been one of them at one time. Yep.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool. We have a lot of real racers in these races, like Tyler Tomasi. He raced in the American Canadian Tour ACT. We've had Bobby Labonte in one of these races.
Dave Swindell is a track promoter, Atlee.
Really?
He's a dirt track promoter, yeah. And I'm not sure if he's still in the game, but he was in it for a long time in the early years of our time with FND.
And we got another guy who's not participating with Jason Yacht. He races drags.
And he's got an awesome looking car. I love that thing.
A lot of these guys are real racers. And when I talked to Tyler Tomasi about his Oxford Plains race, he said that it really is different. It's very close, like when he raced in a late model at Oxford Plains and he raced in a real life late model at Oxford Plains. He felt almost the same. The only thing he really said was different was like the G-forces and actually being in the car.
Yeah, the feeling. And so that's what people miss about it in the sim world. And they have those simulators, but they're like $13,000-$14,000 for the real feeling. And I don't know if it's worth it.
I have the folding chair Logitech wheel set up.
There you go.
That's how you do it.
Or you could be like, who's
Denny
the guy that won
Hamlin.
in the Invitational who had it attached to his desk? No, the other guy that won,
yeah,
not
Timmy
Hill. Yeah, just attached to his desk. Doesn't need a fancy setup to win.
And he won a race. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, we're wrecking.
1770. Ooh. All right. Replay. 70 of Robert David Ballantyne on the bottom. Let's do blimp cam to make it easier to see. 77 of Lance Jason got into the 17.
He was looking to go 3 wide, and it didn't fit there. He can't fit there.
With Daytona, such narrow. Looks like 70. Oh no, Josh Hall. That's not good. He got involved in it. Can the 22 and 83 make their way? Yep, 22 makes his way. Rob Malone's just going to break. This is good for... Oh, it looks like DJ Harris is mainly disconnected. I just now realized it. Also, that wasn't too much of a big one. Because that was a little bit more farther back in the pack.
Yeah. So right now, Charles M. Johnson, Lance Jason, Dave Swindell, Rick Seabrands, and Lee Meller are leading the pack here in the incident point range. The most on the track with incident points is Lee Meller.
Well, I can't see the incident point.
They're it's right next to the I rating, INC.
Oh, it says it's all 0 for me.
Oh, interesting.
All right, got some green flag pit stops going on. Always interesting. 1, 2, 3 pit stalls are Lori, Butler, Swindell, and fourth is ironically the 4 of Rick Seabrand. So let's see how this all plays out. So Butler has the top stall. Oh, got Eric Lori. He made his way here too. Man, I think that was a gas and go for Gabe Butler.
It sure was. Swindell took left sides, which is interesting. Maybe they took right and left, so I didn't pay attention to it.
But yeah, a
Got
lot
some
of
more
guys.
cars coming off. Here comes Josh Hall. Rindall.
Here comes the 67 of Mark McFadden. Looks like Ballantyne, he was involved in that previous wreck. He's making his way off. Then Rob Malone. The rest of those guys.
These the FND guys' cars look like they got the Carolina squat going on.
What, like the bottom that they're hanging low?
Yeah, the back down and the front up. If you look at their cars and their race
like
setups.
An overhead. Do I have like an overhead hopper? Alright, I mean, you can kind of see it.
I think you'd have to go down to like a chase view maybe, or a rear chase. You can kind of see it then.
Oh yeah, the front end's just hanging low there. But then if you go to the bumper, you see it's hot. Alright, I just now noticed that. Interesting.
So you can tell a lot from spectating what people are doing,
Definitely.
things they're using. So it looked like front up, back down for some of these guys, and then you'll see some guys keep the loose setups in, which will be your nose down and your rear down too, as much downforce as you can get, but you get looser that way.
Definitely the downforce. Yeah, the downforce helps the car grip to the track, which helps a lot. On the bottom, still Gabe Butler. On the top, though, Brandon Coppinger, like you said, he's a aggressive driver. Kind of runs your style.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's see what he can do. Behind him is another low-line racing driver. Eric Lori is right behind Butler, so we're going to see them two working together. Brandon Jason is behind Coppinger. He's thirsty for getting back up there after being involved in a previous caution. So you might see some aggression from Jason. Who knows? Let's see what happens here. Green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. We got Butler and Coppinger on the outside. They still remain side by side going into turns 1 and 2 with Coppinger now he's cleared them. Coppinger right off the bat goes ahead and clears Gabe Butler on the bottom. That now puts Brandon Jason on the top. If Gabe Butler can get far ahead of Jason, I think that he might try to pull up there in front. For Brandon Coppinger. Staying on the bottom. Butler, looks like Butler has gotten far out. Will we see him move up to the high line in front of Brandon Jason? Oh, looks like Brandon Jason's back up to him. He can't clear him safely. There we go. Gabe Butler's cleared. The 13 of Brandon Jason again. Looks like the high line is starting to really slow down. Yep. Butler and Lori pull up to the high line. Seeing, again, low line racing working together. Yeah, that worked perfectly. Butler and Lori cleared Coppinger right off the bat after moving up to the high line. Oh, Coppinger! Oh no! 13 of Brandon Jason. Caution. Probably, yep. Instant replay. Here's what happened. I'll do one more time. Let me get it. Alright, here's an instant replay. We'll do blimp. That 13 car, excuse me, the 19 car watched the bottom. 14 car gets up to the bumper of the 19. Brandon Coppinger had just gotten cleared by Gabe Butler and Eric Lori. And then he tried to pull up, but got into Brandon Jason. Jason pulls down, gets into Swindell. Looks like Swindell, though, continues to move on. Hall made it through, or nope. Oh, he did. No, wait. But Ballantyne Gear got into it a little bit.
Looks like the 17's gonna get the wave by at man.
All right. Yeah, he was involved in that previous caution. Gabe Butler had, again, good strategy, moving up to the high line, getting in front, and looks like some pit road takers. Last time Gabe Butler pulled in and he gassed and he did a little gas and go, so I think this time maybe he's trying to go for tires. Gabe Butler wins the race off of pit road with Coppinger 14, then Eric Lori, Dave Swindell makes his way off of pit road. Like the four's in his pit stall a little bit cattywampus. I'm not sure how
I love that word.
Cattywampus.
Yeah, it's a great word.
I'm not sure he's still in there. Oh, so Lance Jason and Brandon Jason stay out. Huh. They stayed out before when everyone in it went in another time. They have a very good strategy. They've been up front a lot of this race. So the strategy has been working.
So right now, man, I'm out in a spectator car. I'm gonna put myself in the race. They're not gonna see me, but I'm gonna put myself in there.
Oh, it goes?
And just see how it goes. Yeah. I'm using a Fox controller to see how well I can drive in a pack with these guys
While invisible.
while being invisible, and I don't have to interrupt the race. Yeah.
I've thought about trying that before. Like joining like a big like a NASCAR race while spectating and just running with. The restart on the bottom looks like it's going to be Lance Jason. He's been a front runner along with another front runner all race, Gabe Butler. Behind the 77 is another very fast truck, 19 of Brandon Coppinger, and behind the 88 is the 14 of Charles M. Johnson. So Joe, who are you behind?
I just tucked in behind Rob right now.
All right.
Malone. They're not gonna be able to see me, I don't think. I'm gonna actually go outside of Rob and just follow right into this outside pack and see. I don't know if there's draft either, so that's a part of this I don't get.
So you can kind of be our in-race reporter.
Yeah. Without actually being in the race.
A lot more drivers on the bottom line compared to the top. Oh, that'd be cool. iRacing
Yeah,
should.
so if you get an end of longest line penalty or you get a wave round, you end up on that bottom line. That's why those cars are longer on the bottom there.
That made me think of a cool iRacing edition. They should add the choose cone that they're gonna try to implement in All-Star.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do that. They should have already done that in iRacing, in my opinion. But you know,
Green
can't
flag
always
back
get what you
out.
want.
Green flag back out here at Daytona International Speedway. Lance Jason, big jump over the 88 of Gabe Butler. I don't think that's gonna last for long. Gabe Butler has a fast truck. Coppinger is sitting right behind the 77 of Lance Jason, so if him and Jason can get a good jump, you'll might expect to see Coppinger move up on the high side ahead of Gabe Butler. But Gabe Butler is showing a lot of speed now. Of Charles M. Johnson and Gabe Butler pull onto the bottom line, and that now puts the looks like a lot of the back. There goes. I knew someone might try to do it. Lance Jason moves up to be the leader of the high line ahead of Zach Giergitsis. Charles M. Johnson and Eric Laurie and about to be Brandon Coppinger are also cleared ahead. Yep, Brandon Coppinger is also going to move up to that high line ahead of Lance Jason. So a lot of moving around. When the drivers know that they can clear, they move up. Ooh, Valentine. Wait, where's he going? He got
Lee
very
Miller
loose.
is disconnected.
Lee Miller and Rick Seabrands. Wait, so you said Lee Miller?
Yep.
Gabe Butler still remains the leader as the top line is trying to get up there. Oh no! 1977. Another caution. Here's the instant replay. We'll do blimp cam. 77 was just pushing a little bit too hard, got into the bumper of the 19. 19 pulls down the 22 of Zach, Eric Laurie, 13 of Brandon Jason, Dave Swindell. Here comes the 67 of Mark McFadden. We haven't heard a lot about him today. He just slowly, nonchalantly. Oh, but then he ends up hitting Dave Swindell. Looks like Rob Malone drives through it. He ends up making it through. Daniel and Randall's taking it slow. Looks like he makes it through. So yet another caution. Looks like Brandon Coppinger has manually disconnected. So far this race, we've seen a lot of cautions. But still, that's made for some exciting racing. Time flies. We're about to enter lap number 47 out of 75. So Joe, did you invisibly get involved in that wreck?
I had already hit the wall, so
Oh.
it's tough to drive with a controller, especially when you're used to using a
Wheels.
steering wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play Heat on a controller, but now I'm just used to wheel. And I also
Can you
wasn't.
imagine trying to do it now, though?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the sensitivity because it's not. It's too sensitive. So like if you turn left, it just flips the steering wheel around like 4 times.
Gabe Butler, Swindell, and Johnson, Valentine, all of them making their way off. Another thing that I had to adjust to with iRacing is that I used to race with like the back cam, but now I have to do the cockpit cam, the inside of the car. And at first you're like, oh, this is so hard, but it's not that much of a difference. You get used to it. It's so much easier having like your mirror and stuff where you can see who's behind you.
Yeah, I can see that being an issue.
But iRacing is a very cool platform. I recommend it to any racing fan. If you like racing, but if you don't have the money to actually go out and buy a race car and go out to the track, there's over 80 plus tracks and 80 plus cars and a bunch of different configurations of all those tracks. And you can join races and race with them, or you can spectate races. And also another cool thing is that if you have like a friend who's racing, you can actually spot for them. I'm not sure if any of these guys tonight have spotters.
We used to run them at one point when it first came out. We did. It's just too hard to get somebody to sit there for that long and spot for you.
Yeah. We're now down to 11 cars. That's okay. Still got a nice field.
Looks like the 67's got some right rear damage. I'm just checking out the field for you here. And maybe, you know, Swindell's looking pretty clean. Gabe's looking really good.
Oh, yeah,
Go ahead and see if we can roll to the back here and see who else. So 67 definitely has some right rear damage. His wing is up in the air. It's going to cause some major drag for him.
Dang, you being in that invisible car really does help. The bottom, Gabe Butler has been up in front in a position all day long. Dave Swindell, he's been in like the top 5 a couple times, but he hasn't really been starting on the front row much recently, so that he's got a big chance. Behind Butler is the 14 of M. Johnson, while Swindell's got Valentine behind him. This should be exciting.
Right on the back bumper of Swindell. See if we can stay with these guys this time. See how it goes up front.
All right, pace truck pulls in. Green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. Man, Dave Swindell and Gabe Butler, both of them got good restarts. They're side by side going into turns 1 and 2. Both of their drafting partners are helping out tremendously. And neither of them, but now good jump for the 14 and 88. So if the 14 can get as far ahead of Swindell where he could clear him, I might expect Charles M. Johnson to pull in front of Swindell, but looks like Swindell is still side by side with the 88 of Butler. Has a fast start.
Looks like Rendall moved up to the top line. You got Rob Lamone's hanging off the back here just a little bit. I think he's just watching. You can see he's sitting in the middle of the track here and was watching up the middle.
Yeah, because he knows it's been a little bit of a wreck fest, so.
Right.
Him and Rendall, both of them have avoided a majority of these cautions by sticking back in the back of the pack. So maybe late race that strategy, it could become an advantage in case there's like a green-white checkered and pretty much the entire field has damage, but then them two in the back of the pack don't. So, good strategy. Sometimes it doesn't work though, where you have nowhere to go. It's hard though to avoid a 200 miles per hour truck swinging right by you. Right now, Gabe Butler, but now it looks like the 14 car has now cleared the one of Dave Swindell. Will he pull up to the top line to clear Dave Swindell, become the leader of the high side?
I think the 14 will stay there for a while.
You do?
You gotta remember, yeah, we're halfway through this race. There's been a lot of wrecks. I think he's gonna be patient.
Interesting. Yeah, after so many wrecks, it has to be tiring, so we'll probably see these guys run clean for a little while. But once, once three to 2 laps to go comes,
oh,
that's
one in the wall.
Ooh, yeah, it was Rob Malone. Good job saving it. He moves down to the bottom.
Just gave it a little slap. He's just kissing it, letting it know how he feels.
Sometimes I like to call the wall the fence, because like back in the olden days at like some of the fairground racetracks, it actually was a fence.
Yep. I mean, it still is a fence, technically speaking, right above the wall.
It protects the spectators from... Hopefully we don't see any cars wrecked so bad that they have to go into the catch fence. That would not be good.
Yeah, the ripping of the catch fence down in the iRacing models is not existent yet.
Oh, it isn't?
No, no.
Oh, not realistic. We can't see like a Carl Edwards at Talladega situation or Austin Dillon at Daytona.
Not yet. But they've made the 87 cars flip like they really would.
Those 87 cars are crazy.
I'll tell you what, they're a blast to drive, though.
Yeah, I drove them at before the doubleheader last Friday, and you're going 210, 211 miles per hour. Say goodbye to restrictor plates. It's a lot of fun, but very hard. Josh Hall looks like he moves up to the high side in front of Dave Swindell as the new leader.
Oh yeah, and they're getting a good push down the back stretch here. You're gonna see some good racing from Josh Hall and Dave Swindell here. These guys are better in iRacing FND drivers, and they're gonna give Gable a run for his money unless Jason gets right up on that backside, or Charles M. Johnson, sorry.
And then also we got Valentine is also behind them too, giving them a little bit more extra support. But there's more cars in the bottom line, but sometimes that doesn't mean everything.
Yeah, you get about 3 cars on that outside line hooked up and running a really good line together, and you can do pretty much anything you want out there. I speak from experience in that one.
So I saw on the...
Oh, go ahead.
No, you can talk.
No, I was just gonna say sometimes it's hard to get people to go with you outside just because they're scared or they're not ready.
Yeah, a lot of the non-FND guys are probably scared. Like I'm not seeing like a lot of them hanging in the back, like Mark McFadden. He's just hanging out there in the back with Rob and Daniel. Anyway, I saw on the Facebook page, Joe, that there's gonna be like fireworks at the end of the race. Like, what does that mean?
Usually at the end of Daytona night races, iRacing has fireworks up in the sky.
They do?
If you look at the scenic, yeah.
Interesting. So,
They did do it at Charlotte too.
At the end of the race, I'll have to see it. I didn't know.
And then during the day, you can see the planes coming in and out of Daytona International Airport.
Man, And that just proves how much detail iRacing puts into it. Looks so realistic.
Yeah, they do some good work, man. And the fact that they were able to scan, Northworks Pro and 87 cars, and bring back that nostalgia feel, made it super exciting for me, because I remember as a kid, being your age and going and seeing those cars raced in real life. I watched Jeff Gordon drive the Baby Ruth car in the Nationwide Series back then, so it was fun.
Great. Season 3 has brought so much stuff to the table. With the 87 cars, there's a new Indy car, there's a new IMSA car. They rescanned, I think they reconfigured Road America, they rescanned Kentucky.
Did they update the F1 cars yet? Because a lot of people are talking about how F1, the video game, is updated, but a lot of the sim racing stuff is not updated for F1 racing.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of other video games. I'm not sure with the F1 cars if it was updated on the Season 3.
So it looks like Josh and Dave lost their help.
Yeah.
And everybody's single filing up. I think everybody's starting to think about that fuel run, because I think that last pit stop would have put them right at a fuel run or right under it. So
we've seen you've won a fuel mileage finish before, and we might see that.
We might see it.
Like, these guys are going to be running in 3rd gear, trying to save as much fuel as possible.
I won that in the COVID-19 car.
Yep. I remember that.
I've resorted now to using Jeff Bodine paint schemes. My dad was a huge fan of Jeff Bodine growing up, so I was a Darrell Waltrip fan.
Yeah, in the beginning,
when
I first started watching NASCAR, I was Tony Stewart.
Ew.
What? I'm wearing his shirt right now, actually.
My mom was always a Tony Stewart fan as well.
Smoke. But then when he retired, I had to resort to a new driver, so I picked good old Mark Truex Jr.
No doubt. Yeah, I moved on to Blaney. Blaney's my guy.
And
I really love what he did to Kyle Busch.
True. And I already pre-picked a driver for when Martin retires. I'm keeping my eye on Haley Deegan.
There you go.
Good prospect.
I'm in. When Blaney retires, I'll join you.
Thank you. That Haley Deegan.
I like her aggression. I like the fact that
Definitely.
she goes after it.
And I mean, if she can keep how she's doing in like the Arca Menard series, I think there was the Arca Menard series, the series that she raced today, but I didn't go look on Racing Reference to see the results. So I'm not sure how well she did in that race.
It looks like Josh is still hanging it out there with Dave. They're sticking right there at that 3rd spot. Lori getting a little loose, almost making contact with Josh's left rear quarter panel there.
That was close. We might
Rob
have seen
Malone.
another.
Oh, and now it's because of that little bobble that Lori had, gave the opportunity to these guys to push him out front. I think Gabe just realized he might have a fuel issue.
Uh-oh, here comes
Looks
Josh
like he
Hall.
might be lifting. Maybe
Yep,
Gabe's lifting. Yep, there they go. They're pitting.
Gabe, the 14 of Charles M. Johnson, Brandon Jason, and Eric Laurie. All of them go on the pit road. That now puts Josh Hall as the leader of the bottom with Dave Swindell right behind him. And that should separate the field out a lot.
This, if they're not doing a fuel strategy, you should see them pit here. It looks like Josh might be pitting. He might have told Dave. I saw Dave pull up.
Also, Valentine also gets up there.
Yeah, they're gonna go another lap. Valentine and Dave are gonna go another lap for sure.
It looks like Paul Malone.
Josh is off. Rob's off. All four of those cars are off.
Yep, the 67 of Mark McFadden and also the 77 of Lance Jason.
Looks like they got in all right. Let's take a look at, I'll look at mine about Gabe Butler and those guys, see how they did. Looks like they all got out pretty good. Rindall's in that pack. Got a 5-car pack there that's getting back together. Still not organized, though.
Now it's just the 2-car team of Swindell and Ballantyne out front. They eventually still will have to go in.
Oh, looks like Rindall might have missed his pit or sped. He had to go back down pit road right now.
Uh-oh. And Dave Swindell goes in, and Robert Ballantyne goes in. They still have a 33-second lead over Mark McFadden.
Looks like Josh and McFadden are going to get out on track just behind the leaders here. Hopefully they'll get up to speed quick enough to grab on.
Nobody has passed Swindell yet. Yep, Swindell.
Yeah, they're still on pit road.
Ballantyne, they had a big enough lead that they're still a straightaway ahead of the others, but here they're faster though. They have a lot more momentum.
You should see the same. Thank you. Here when Dave comes out, he should be latching onto the back of these guys as well.
Here they come.
Yep.
Dave Swindell, Robert Ballantyne getting up to speed. I think they're gonna let him by. Yep. Here comes Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, Jason, and Chris M. Johnson going around Dave Swindell and Robert Ballantyne. So here it is, the 4-car pack.
Josh is just off the back of that. 1.2 back from Dave Swindell.
Chris M. Johnson moves up to the outside. I don't know. He's probably just getting some fresh air. Maybe we might see if anybody wants to try to join him. I think we're still far away. We're nearing 10 laps to go, though, and that we might see some of the action pick up.
So we got a 4-car breakaway, and then a 5-car right behind him, or another 4-car.
Swindell and let me go to Swindell's.
That's another
cam.
4-car. Yeah.
And Jason, where's Jason and Malone? They're just hanging out back there.
I don't know why Josh can't get tightened up. He's right there. He's on the cusp of being there.
Oh, yeah. He's very close behind McFadden. About a second
Josh
off.
is 0.7 back from Dave Swindell.
Impressive. And we're now officially 10 laps to go on the board here.
Looks like they're gonna leave Josh, I think. I mean, he still has their draft, so he might still be okay once they get caught all the way up. These 3 are running down that top 4, though.
Yep, and probably the next 4 to 5 laps, they'll probably get up there. Maybe even closer.
It'll be sooner than that.
Yeah, sooner.
They're gonna close it on this lap.
Yeah, here they are. Knocking on the bumper of Chris M. Johnson. Swindell moves up wide. And then
Josh is 2.5 off the lead. And 1.7 back from Mark McFadden, which is just outside that range that he needed to be within. Now, if these guys start going too wide, you might be able to see him catch up. Oh, looks like somebody else had a dip off there.
Brandon Jason moves up to the outside. He's near M. Johnson, and Swindell anybody gonna join him up there. I don't know, maybe Eric Laurie pulls up to the outside.
I feel bad for Josh. If I was out there, I'd go back and get him right now. Give him a shot at this thing.
Who's behind? Ballantyne. Where's Ballantyne? Oh, he's in the pits.
Yeah, he dipped off. It's a lonely feeling being out there by yourself if you're Josh Hall. Maybe these guys will wreck. They're looking like they're trying, so.
Maybe I'm looking here at Rob Malone and Lance Jason. I'm not sure if they will be able to pick him up. They're still over 10 seconds.
21 seconds back from Josh, I think, right now. That's where, if you look at intervals on the timing sheet, it'll tell you how far is in between each car. So now we have ourselves a 6-car breakaway at the front.
Still nobody making a move. Brandon Jason, he was on the outside line. He pulls down behind Eric Laurie. I think we're not going to see much until like 2 or 1 laps to go.
I bet you won't see much more patience out of some of these guys up here. Swindell's probably going to jump outside pretty soon.
I think Jason will too. And then we'll see like Chris and Johnson.
Those four need to team up if they're going to beat Laurie and Butler to the line.
And yeah, in the next few laps, we're 6 laps to go. So in the next few laps, we will. Chris and Johnson's already moving up. He's moved up to the high side. So he's already prepared.
And you can see Laurie giving a little peek there too. You never know, maybe he's going to shoot for this win too.
Definitely.
When it comes down to it, you can be a teammate with a lot of people, right? But when it comes down to that last lap, that last turn, there's no teams then. Here comes Rindall. They're making a fast run up on Rindall now.
Clean pass, hopefully. Butler.
Should be.
Last time there was a lap car or something. There we go. They make it by him clean for the most part. It looks like McFadden and Chris and Johnson making their way up. 5 laps to go now, officially on the board. Again, here we're watching Eric Laurie's peeking.
I think he's just trying to kind of block that top line. You dip up there real quick like that, then take it away. You dip up there, take it away. You're kind of keeping that control of that line.
And it worked for the most part. They're still back there.
And Rindall is like your closer. I know he's a lap down now, but maybe 2, but he is the guy that you always see at the end come out of nowhere and win a race.
Yeah, he did it last time with the 87s.
Yep, he did. He wasn't up there the whole race, and then on the last 2 laps, he was there to squeeze in and take that W.
Yeah, he's 2 laps down.
Yep. A little boo-boo on pit road, it looked like maybe. Oh, Laurie went super high there. You better be careful with Dave Swindell and Jason there.
Uh-oh, Brandon Jason moved up high.
Oh, there it is. And a
Barely
move for the
cleared
lead.
McFadden.
Looks like Rindy's going to get in the middle of this thing. He's catching up. Oh, Laurie's pushing.
Laurie,
oh, there he is in the
into
wall. There's the wreck.
wall.
Dave into the wall. Hard. There's got to be a yellow. Is there a yellow?
Yeah, yellow's out.
Wow, he hit the wall hard.
All right, here's the instant replay. We'll do blimp.
So this starts with Laurie pushing up the track here in the middle of the corner, I think. Maybe not.
I might have
Yep,
gone
here
back
it
a
is.
lot.
Yeah, it is. There it is.
And
Nope, you're right.
Netcode. That was a little
well,
bit
yeah, he pushed. He still pushed up.
Boom.
Netcode or
And
not, he pushed up.
67. Dave Swindell.
And nothing you can do about that if you're Dave Swindell either. It's just part of that super speedway racing thing that just happens.
Oh,
Did
and then
everybody else
Rendall.
get woed down? Did anybody pile in?
Rendall, let's see. Not sure.
Where's Josh Hall at? He wasn't very far behind.
Well,
He's probably woed down pretty well.
So that's our cue. Green, white, checkered.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that now, does it, Atlee? Green, white checkers are exciting at super speedway tracks. You never know what's going to happen.
And all those guys that were in the back, like Josh Hall and Rob Malone and Lance Jason, are now, it looks like Daniel Emrandal is getting one of his.
He's probably going to get both of them back. They're going to give them both back to him.
I think, yeah, Dave Swindell and Brandon Jason have manually disconnected.
Yeah, I think Dave Swindell was probably out of incidents or out of resets there. It's unfortunate for him. He had 22 incidents, the most of anybody on the track. So that's a tough day for Dave. 20 for Lee Meller as well.
The most pit stops, looks like Daniel Rendall has made his way onto the pits 14 times. Rob Malone has gone into the pits 12 times. Well, the driver that's been to the pits the least amount, and looks like Valentine gets his lap back. He goes on to the lead lap. So that's one more car in the contention.
Should be a wild finish.
Do you think Rendall's gonna get his lap back?
Yeah, here he goes right now. He's going by Josh on the outside. It looks like he's wheeling it, keeping it up to speed. So I'd imagine he's going to get them both back.
That's good.
Like I said, watch out for the closer.
Yeah, this wreck was really in his favor. Here he is. He's back on the lead lap. He was about in this position in the 87 cars.
Yeah, exact same position, actually.
There's Oh, this is deja vu right here.
Except for I'm not out there to hit the wall, so we're good. All right, so Atman, we got we're gonna have a green-white checker here. Looks like the pace car lights are about to turn off, I think, and we're gonna see them go. Is Josh Hall pitting again? I know what he's doing. I'm not gonna tell you, but I want you to ask him what he did right there when he pit at the end of this race. When we interview him, I want you to ask him what he did. But I know what he did. What do you think he could add to that car right now, make it go faster right here, Atman?
Fuel? No, excuse me, tires.
Nope.
Wait, some downforce?
Downforce. How do you add downforce to a stock car? Knowing you only have 2 laps to run. And I say that because you have to worry about heat when you do this.
You change the angle of the spoiler?
No, you can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
They're locked in place. He put tape on the front grille.
Ooh.
He's going to reduce the amount of airflow through the engine. He's going to put it over the hood instead. And hope that it doesn't pop in 2 laps. You'll see Jason Yacht do that every single time in a green-white checker.
Got 8 cars. Only one can win. Green-white checker. This should be exciting.
Josh has got it taped up. Nobody else does. He's going to be fast.
But watch out for the closer, Rendall. And we got Lowline Racing up front. Here goes. Pace truck pulls in and green flags out here at Daytona International Speedway. Starting off with the green part of the green-white checker. We're now 2 laps to go. Butler right now is clear above Lori for the most part.
Looks like Rob's gonna get up and push Lori here.
Looks like
If
the
he can make it there.
14 got a good jump over the 071. Now Valentine clears the 071.
They dumped Lori on the outside. Josh has got clear. He's gonna get up, I think.
Yeah, he's
there
gonna
it
move
is.
up. There he is. Goes above Valentine.
Can Rob get up there with him? Doesn't
He
look
has-
like he's
and
gonna
yeah,
be able to.
He
Yeah,
passed
he's clear
Lori.
now.
Here he goes.
Uh-oh. These guys better watch out now. This is not good for Gabe Butler. I can promise you that.
Here we
'Cause
go.
comes
Final
Josh.
lap. We're getting close to the final lap. We had a
Let's
green
go.
light checkered. Oh, here comes Josh Hall.
That
He's-
thing's taped up and it's going to the front.
Quarter, side. They're now side by side going into turns 1 and 2. Looks like
As long as Rob stays tight, we're gonna have a good finish here at man.
looks like 81 is on Gabe's quarter panel. He's now side by side with him. Now Gabe is on Josh's quarter panel.
My heart is racing for Josh right now. Let's go, tighten it up. Here we go, boys.
Gabe
Count out
Butler
of 3.
is clear. What's gonna happen here? Gabe Butler, Josh Hall, can he get a good jump? Oh!
Not gonna be enough.
Gabe Butler.
Good finish, Gabe. Good win.
Good
And
job.
If you go to that scenic screen, I can hear the fireworks at man.
Wait. Yeah, have it on the scenic screen. Looking.
I can hear them. I'm not sure where they are, but they're out there somewhere.
Yeah, have it on scenic. There it is. There's
There
the
they are.
fireworks.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. What a way to kick off the 4th of July weekend. With some
That's pretty
intensity
sweet.
rock. Yeah, I
wish you
saw
could
it on the
lock it in on
Facebook
that.
page and I was like, what? Here you go.
Let's see
fireworks.
that 88 do some donuts now. How about that?
I'll get him in TV too. Woo! Right across the infield grass.
Good race, Gabe Butler.
Yep, number 88 Guinness Chevrolet Silverado. Hold off Josh Hall. Look at the final results up here. Representing Club Florida, it's Gabe Butler. Second goes to the Charles M. Johnson. Third is Josh Hall. Fourth was Eric Laurie. Fifth, Rob Malone. Sixth, Robert David Valentine. Seventh is Mark McFadden. Eighth, Daniel Merdal. Ninth, Lance Jason. 10th, Brandon Jason.
Try to pull Josh Hall up in here real quick before he takes off and see if we can ask him if he taped up there at the end.
Hey Josh. Hey Josh, this is Atlee Joe in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
So we saw what happened there. You looks like you went in to go get some tape for the downforce. What happened there in that final green-white checkered?
Well, actually, I taped up and got tires the lap before, and then I looked down at my fuel and noticed I was going to be a little close because I didn't count in the green-white checker. So I just took a little splash of fuel. But yeah, I had a hell of a push from Rob there at the end, and I thought we were going to get by Gabe there, but just didn't have enough. Those guys worked good on the bottom there, kept me from getting by, and all in all, it was a great race.
Yeah, you had him clear going into 1 and 2. You had him actually at your left rear quarter panel, and maybe could have cut him off and got down. Probably not. Probably would have wrecked everybody. But it was a hell of a race to the end there. And coming through 3 and 4, I think you just maybe the tape hurt you because Rob maybe fell off a little bit because you were going too fast for him.
Yeah, that and the 14 car was blocking. You can come up a little bit and block. That's kind of what he was doing. He was running like a little bit higher, take away my momentum, where I really couldn't get a good run on him. So, all in all, those guys did a great job. We did a good job trying to stay out of the messes. I got caught up in a couple, none of my doing earlier, And I feel bad for spinning DJ Harris when he had the lead, but I was being pushed. There really wasn't anything I could do. So I did
So
apologize to him. Gonna apologize again.
when that happened, I immediately thought of the time where he did that to you.
Yeah, he mentioned that. I forgot that.
Yeah, he went up to block the top lane, and Bob Valentine started pushing me, and I was off the gas when I caught his bumper. So again, I apologize, Dave. My bad.
All in all, though, good race, Josh.
Yeah, great work. It was a great race to call, and it was fun to watch.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was fun. Fun out at the end there. A couple cautions, kind of dragged along, but all in all, great race.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Intensity Broadcasting for FND Racing Friday Night at Daytona International Speedway. I am Atlee Atman-Weiss, and tonight I was joined by Joe Wright. Hope you enjoyed tonight's race. Please make sure to like, follow, subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Roughly 77.6% of our viewers are not subscribed or followed on Twitch and YouTube, so make sure to do that. And also give us a follow on Facebook to keep up. You can find links to our videos. Also, we have a website, intensitybroadcasting.com. We love announcing races, so if you have a league and you want us to announce it, feel free to contact us on our website and Facebook page. And again, make sure to tune in. I believe on Sunday, is it the season finale for Sabbath Day?
No, our season finale is already over with. They're taking this week off, and they'll be back. They'll be back racing the week after
so
that.
We're taking off on Sunday, but Monday is going to be the short track Super Stock League race, which should be exciting. Last time was very crazy, so that's also exciting. And then Tuesday is the Route 66 Summer Speedway Series. I didn't do the Route 66 Summer Speedway Series this week because we just didn't have a lot of cars turn up. Luckily, this race, we did have a lot of cars turn up. So, again, stay tuned. Turn on notifications so you know when we post. Hope to see you next time at our next race. I'm Atlee. And Joe, over and out.